You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, Fish fans? Welcome to your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, and I am pumped to have you with me here today, as always, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, and today, not a good day for the Miami Marlins. Why? They ran into Luis Severino, a 4-0 shutout win for the Mets, and the Marlins have now dropped the first two in New York. They are guaranteed to lose the season series against the Mets, and it just continues to be one of those days for one of those years for your Miami Marlins. With me, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, right here on your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Just want to remind you that, of course, your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST is here every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, obviously day in and day out, and you everydayers know this, and we are absolutely just pumped to have you here every single day on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, whether it's Spotify, whether it is Apple Music, and whether it is iHeart, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. We got you covered right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Sometimes things are just, it's just been a long season with the Miami Marlins for sure, right? It's been a long go of it, and just from the beginning with the big losing streak to start the season, and then the 9-gamer, and then the 6-gamers and the 5-gamers and all these losing streaks throughout the year that have just really worn on you as a Miami fan. And it's been a tough time, been a tough go for you, especially you everydayers. You guys are here all the time. And, day in and day out, you see things that really help, right? You see things day in and day out that sort of come in, glimpses, and that it's not every team can't go to the World Series and every team can't win the division. And we talk about this every day, right? But the reality of the situation is, when you were talking about your Miami Marlins, you're talking about a team that has had a brutal year this season, and today was no different. You're talking about a team that's now 45-78 on the season. 45-78 for your Miami Marlins, and obviously that's not a good year, not a good performance at all, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, let's try that again. Not really sure what's happening here. We're going to get this squared away, guys. I apologize with everything going on with the video right now. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Locked On Marlins POSTCAST 4-0. And while we're doing this, I just have to get the screen right behind me, and I'll get that in just a second here. But what I wanted to do is talk to you for just a second about the Marlins and about what happened in this game today. Now, this is something that Max Meyer, we talked about it yesterday, coming into the game today, right? This is a guy who gives up a lot of homers. He gave up a couple more today. And when you're talking about Max Meyer, that's something that it's been an issue for him. It's been an issue throughout this year. And this is a guy who is, being counted on for a lot of things for the Marlins. There's a lot of things going on with Meyer, and a lot of things that you really hope that he can get done in the future as far as being a number one starter, locked in as a number one starter. And I'll have this squared away in just a second. Bear with me for a second, guys.
You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, look at that. Live in living color. You see that? Boom. Right as we go here live, we fix this, and just like that, everything's working perfectly right here. Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Severino Mets shut out. Look at that picture. Severino, man, the former Yankee. It's been a 7-6 year for him. Not the best season for Luis Severino, but today was an outstanding game for him. All right, let's get to it. Right away, and we talked about Max Meyer with the home runs yesterday, right? We talked about this, and look, 4-0 today, the shutout. Severino pitching great. Regardless of what Max Meyer did today, it probably wasn't going to work out the way the Marlins had wanted it to because of the way that Severino pitched. 4-hitter, second career shutout. Lindor and Alonso. Lindor hits the home run to lead the game off. And obviously, it's 1-0 before you blink. Don't blink. In a New York minute. All right, I'm done. Everything can change in a New York minute. But Luis Severino was brilliant today. 4-0 the shutout win for the New York Mets. He's 8-6 now, was in complete control. It was rainy. It was kind of crummy. I thought for a while, man, the game might get rained out. Struck out 8, walked 1. First shutout for a Mets starter since Jacob deGrom, right? So Severino, his only other complete game in the majors was the Yankees against the Astros in May of 2018, a 5-hit shutout against that Astros team. Think about that, the 2018. So nice job by the Mets to get that win there. Lindor and Alonso with the homers, and that was really all they'd need. And, they gave up 1 run in each of the first 4 innings, the Marlins did with Max Meyer. So 1 run in each inning. He goes 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Look, this dude was the number 3 pick in the draft, right? You got good stuff there. That he needs to develop more. He needs to be a 1 or a 2. Really should be an ace. Number 3 pick in the draft. The money you invested, he needs to be an ace. They need to speed up his development. Ramirez, DeGus, Fauché, 4 innings of scoreless relief, but with Severino pitching the way he did. And, the guys who got the hits tonight, Berger got 1 9-game hitting streak. Shout out to Jake Berger. And it was a double for Berger, and Fortes and Lopez hit doubles too, but only 4 hits. And Lopez, Brujan, and Fortes, 7, 8, 9 in the order, they each had 1. And 2 of them were doubles, Fortes and Lopez. But then, it's Renato Lopez. Good to see him in there. And Fortes, good to have him back in the lineup after that trip to the injured list. But 4 hits, and 3 of them from your 7, 8, 9 hitters. And Jesus Sanchez 0 for 4, Jonah Bride 0 for 4, Derek Hill 0 for 4, Xavier Edwards 0 for 4. Did get on base, and the Marlins ran themselves into one of the worst double plays I've ever seen. But Pete Alonso flexing those guns and that power. Lindor 2 for 3, 2 runs scored. The New York Mets with a great job in back of Severino tonight. Just picking up 1 here, 1 there, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of chipping away. And, the Marlins weren't able to get anything going against Severino. And in the first inning, he just set him up 1, 2, 3, gone. And the thing about Severino that was impressive here tonight, his sinker's 92, and he throws almost all sinkers. He throws a lot of 4-seamers, but he throws a ton of sinkers. So he's 95, 96 on the 4-seamer, and he's got 92 to 94 on the sinker. And that's pretty much all he throws. He'll mix in a sweeper. But today it was fastball, sinker, fastball, sinker, fastball, sinker. And the Marlins couldn't do jack with it. Lindor, a long at-bat against Max Meyer. You're a leadoff man. That's your job, man. I love Francisco Lindor. I love this dude. Look, 2 strikes right off the bat, right? Boom, strike. Looking, takes the first one right down the middle. All right, 92 on the 4-seamer. You want Meyer to be at 94, 95. He's at 92. Foul ball on the next one, another 4-seamer at 93 on the inside corner, so it's 0-2. Then the 4-seamer, the slider, and the 4-seamer. The slider's not there for Max Meyer. The slider's not there right now. That pitch is his out pitch. It's got so much bite to it. It's got teeth. It's just unbelievable. But not there all the way yet. It's getting better. And then he hit the home run off the 4-seamer, which was 94. But he missed with 3 straight pitches, 2 4-seamers and a slider in between. And then a foul ball on a slider. And that was a decent slider, the 89 mile an hour. And then the home run on pitch number 7. As a leadoff guy, man, you love it and as a manager, as a coach, you love it when your leadoff man goes up there and sees 7 pitches, because then Vientos comes up and sees 6. First 2 hitters saw 13 pitches, 6 from the next guy. The first 3 hitters, 25 pitches, a 26-pitch inning for Max Meyer. What do you think happens when those guys go back to the dugout? They're going, according to the scouting report, they're saying, hey, we thought we were going to see this and we saw that. He's got this tonight. He doesn't have that tonight. That many pitches for the hitters who are on deck and the hitters who are in the hole to get that timing down, to see those arm slots and angles as many times as they do. Those things all matter. And look, 6-pitch at bat for Alonso, a home run to lead off the second. And then right after that, another 7 pitches, another 5 after that. This dude's throwing 70 pitches in 2 innings. You know what I'm saying? And by the time the 3rd inning's up, you're at a point where you're at your pitch restriction just about. That's what's been going on with Max Meyer, man. He threw 90 pitches in 4 innings. 90 pitches in 4 innings tonight for Max Meyer. Think about that. 90. He threw 60 in the first 2 innings. A lot of foul-offs, but he's missing his spots with those pitches. He's missing those spots. The command is not quite there. And you're expecting a lot from this kid as time goes by. He needs to step it up. He really needs to step it up. You are watching, speaking of needing to step it up, I apologize for the technical stuff in the beginning. We got everything up with Severino the right way, and look at that, 4-zip, the Severino shutout. Max Meyer, man, he's getting whiplash. Way too many home runs given up by Max. No O in Miami Marlins. No O in either one. There was an O in Florida, but no O in Miami Marlins. They struggle again. 7, 8, 9, each one of those guys gets a hit. Berger extends the hit streak to 9 games. Nothing doing offensively. They swing at everything. No plate discipline. Some things never change with your Miami Marlins. Good thing it's football season, and we have your Locked On Dolphins and Canes postcast coming your way, including tonight, Dolphins Commanders in South Florida, and we will have your postcast right after the game right here, Locked On Sports Miami, and wherever you get your podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day coming back. No O in Miami. What is wrong with this team's offense? It is offensive, even though there's no O in it. I'll explain on the other side. Locked On Marlins postcast with me, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. And I'm excited. One of the reasons I have so much energy, people say to me all the time, Grease, how do you have so much energy at 52 years old? Actually, they ask me that because that's a question. My grammar teachers would be happy. But I will tell you this, one of the keys to life is hydration. I am always completely hydrated. My skin is healthy. I have energy. Hydration matters. This just in. And in a place like South Florida or wherever you're watching or listening from in the summertime, you're depleted. You're sweating. You're losing those nutrients. You are losing all the things you need to stay hydrated. So when you're taking in America's pastime, do not forget to hydrate with Liquid IV popsicle firecracker flavor, a surefire summertime hit, right? Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, Liquid IV, because baseball and summer go together like hot dogs, apple pie, and no, like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. That's right, indulgent hydration. That's how I live my life. Everything should be indulgent. First of all, blast off with the iconic summer flavor of popsicle firecracker, a festive blend of citrus-fueled lemon lime, tart cherry, and raspberry flavors. If not, you can find all your favorite flavors on the website: acai berry, lemon lime, pina colada. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. No more thirsty summers, peeps, when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Real quick, before we get back into it, want to thank you for making Locked On Marlins postcast your first listen today. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, but for your second listen of the day, enjoy the Locked On MLB podcast with Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully. He's here daily to provide national expertise. He's got that trademark sense of humor, going to help get you ready for the playoffs here in the dog days of the summer. Prepare for the fall classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And yo, Miami Marlins with another L today. Last night I took a L, but tonight I bounced back. Well, they haven't been bouncing back much this year. Meyer goes to 3-3. Severino's 8-6. Complete game shutout, 4-hitter. And man, first pitch strikes for Severino tells you all you need to know about the Marlins. No O in Miami. No O in Marlins. I know, I just said it like I'm a 90-year-old guy who grew up in Miami before there was air conditioning. Miami, I know. Anyway, 25 of the 32 hitters, first pitch strikes for Severino. 29. He faced 5 above the minimum. 25 first pitch strikes. Interesting, right? Very, very interesting. He threw 113 pitches. The Mets are pretty good. They're back in the races, right? So you had Lindor homers in the first, Alonso homers in the second, Winker with the single scoring Nimmo, and Vientos doubles to left scoring Lindor in the fourth, and that would be all she wrote, but that was all they needed. That was all the Mets needed. 2 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI for Lindor, 2 for 4 for Vientos with the rib, 1 for 4 with a run scored for Nimmo, 1 for 4 with a home run for Alonso, Tinker 1 for 3 with the RBI. That's all they needed. They only had 7 hits themselves. This thing with Max Meyer, I've talked about it a lot with this kid. He's good. He's given up a run an inning, but he's given up home runs. The home runs are killing him. The home runs, the long ball are killing him. And as those pitches get more bite and the location gets just a little bit better, maybe a little bit more velocity, you will see a lot different Max Meyer. And I think that he's going to be all right. I really do. All right, so no in Miami, no in Marlins. What are you going to do, right? They're up there waving at everything. They're still not changing their approach. Edwards today in a leadoff spot, maybe he's cooling down a little bit, down to 348. You're going to have an 0 for every once in a while, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Berger extends the hitting streak to 9 games and didn't homer today for only the second time in 6 games. But Sanchez, 0 for 4, Bride 0 for 4, Hill 0 for 4, Stowers, man. Just a tough go of it for Miami. Tough go. And you're looking at the schedule ahead. They wrap it up against the Mets tomorrow, and they are going to finish with a losing record against the Mets this season. The Mets 7-5 against them. The best the Marlins can do is crawl to within a game. And, after that, you come back home, and you got Arizona coming in on Monday. Right away, they're hot. Great team in the National League West World Series a year ago. 2 teams going in divergent directions. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks for sure. And then after that, you got the Cubbies coming in for the weekend series. 3 in a row. And then you go back out on the road. 4 against the lowly Rockies. 3 against the Giants. Back home for Washington and Philly as we hit September. Actually hit September in San Francisco. You are watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Another tough one for the Miami Marlins. And when I say no O in Miami and you're looking at, and no O in Marlins, you're looking at their recent games and just, shut out today. They scored 3. They've been shut out and scored hardly any runs. The offense has been getting better, a lot better with Berger hot. But again, you traded away Bell. You traded away, I almost said Marquise Grissom. Jazz Chisholm. You traded away Jazz Chisholm, Marquise Grissom, of course, Braves and Indians a long time ago. But unreal when you think about how much this team looked. You've lost 3 in a row now. You won the last game against San Diego. You took the first game in Philly. You had the big lead against Philly. You're up 5-0, I believe, in that game. You end up losing 9-5. Phillies pick then to get hot. And, of course, what happens after that? The Phillies go on a roll. They literally go on a roll after that. They scored 13 against the Nats the next day, and they won 3-2 yesterday. So it got them going, got their offense going at least for sure. And thinking about the Phillies, they're going to win the division without a doubt. They're probably going to win the National League. Beozo should win tomorrow. You're right. You are absolutely right. Beozo's been pitching great lately. We're going to talk about that after the second break. On the other side, wrapping up the show, you'll want to be here for that because Valente Beozo is the Marlins' best pitcher right now. Beozo and Cabrera give you a little hope for the future. Weathers was good this year. Luzardo was going to be traded had he not gotten hurt. Alcantara, a Cy Young winner. And then Max Meyer, man, giving up all these homers. You need Max Meyer, the number 3 pick in the draft. You need Max Meyer to start pitching like it. He's showing all the signs, but he's got to stop giving up these long balls, man. They're killing him. I mean, if you think about where's Max Meyer right now, home run-wise, and where are we? I'm going to give you a breakdown here of his last few starts with the home run ball because you think about it. He gave up 3 homers in Atlanta on August 1st, and he gave up a homer on the 27th at Milwaukee and a homer on the 6th against Cincinnati, and then 2 homers today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In his last 5 starts, he's only had 1 game where he hasn't given up a homer. That was 6 1/3, 4 runs on 7 hits against San Diego in a 7-6 win. Not his best game. Still gave up some big hits. He's got the propensity for the big hit, the big inning, the hit by pitch, the walk with 2 outs, then a homer. And that is, if you're looking at it, 7 home runs in his last 5 games. 7 home runs in 5 starts. Now you're talking about 4, 5, 13, 4, 9, 13, 19 1/3, and then 4 more today. So 23 1/3 innings for Max Meyer and 7 ding-dongs. 7 homers in 23 1/3 innings. That's like a homer, every 3.5 innings? 3 1/3. There's no such thing as a half inning. Not within an inning. You know what I'm saying? It's thirds. But, Yeah, it's a lot of homers. He's got to fix that. He's got to clean that up. And then obviously Berger stays hot. There's a lot of things going on there offensively. But Meyer's got to clean that up, keep the ball in the yard, stay away from the beginning. He will be fine. He will be fine. Weathers will be good. They're going to have a good rotation next year. Cabrera, what is going to happen with Garrett? There's a lot of things that you're going to have answered and a lot of questions going into next year. That's what these last couple of months of the season are for. That and to talk about football during the baseball show. No, I'm kidding. Dolphins tonight against the Commanders. By the way, Tua has already thrown a touchdown pass, and we'll have Locked On Dolphins postcast later tonight after that game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Locked On Marlins postcast. We've talked about Meyer and the home runs. We've talked about No-O in Miami. The finale against the Mets tomorrow. The Mets went in a different direction from the Marlins after they met earlier this season. What were some of those keys and why? We commiserate. We ruminate. On the other side, Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _ on social media. And I am so excited to sit here and tell you about Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. That's right. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do, pick more, pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Why? Because you can now earn up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has you covered there every week, whether it's lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. You can get hooked up with Prize Picks. With the finals over, the hoops action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Kalen Clark, Angel Reese, Stewart, Wilson, Liberty, and Vegas played today. You can win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out with the WNBA. Prize Picks available in more than 30 states across the country: California, Texas, Georgia. Oh, Georgia, where the Braves are now a half game ahead of the Mets, by the way, behind the Phillies in the NL East. So what are you going to do? You're going to download the Prize Picks app today, and you're going to use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. There we go. We're having fun today. We got the Marlins. We got the Dolphins tonight. Locked On Dolphins postcast. Myself with Alex and Kyle. Locked On Dolphins. Locked On Canes. The 2 postcasts. We got you locked on. First of all, locked in, locked on, locked everywhere with the Locked On Podcast Network. Your Dolphins, your Canes coverage between the regular shows and the postcast. My job's easy. These guys nail it and hold it down for us every single day. And now they had the postcast, and it's going to be a great football year. And the MIAO, the Dolphins and the Canes right now, everybody thinking these 2 teams are going to have their best years individually that they've had in a long time. Football season matters in South Florida. It matters this year. How far will Tua and all those track stars take the Dolphins? Will they be able to play any defense? And the Hurricanes, the storm coming from Coral Gables with Mario Cristobal. This could be a big, big year. Miami has a chance to go undefeated and make the playoffs. I said it here first. The Canes, not the Dolphins. The Canes have a chance to go undefeated and make the playoff. The Dolphins have a chance to have a huge year, make the playoffs, even make a Super Bowl run, and we will be here every step of the way. Alex, Kyle, and myself, Locked On Canes, Locked On Dolphins, and the postcast. And then, of course, when basketball comes, the Heat again as well. I'm just excited because I've been doing the Marlins and that was a long promo, but I've been doing the Marlins every day all summer. I mean, it takes a special kind of individual, like Skip Schumacher, for example, to keep filling out that card every day and watching this team play. His money should be quadrupled this year. It's been a tough year for Miami. And you're looking at, the 2 teams that have gone in opposite directions. The Mets started off this year terribly. When these 2 teams played each other, and I'm going to tell you the exact dates in just a second. I love the internet. But it was all the way back. It was one of the first series I did. All the way back. How far back? Way back. As we go a little something like this. Hit it. All right, May 17th through the 19th. All right, the Mets won the first 2 games in Miami, and there was a 10-9 game. Actually, the Marlins won the first 2. It was the 10-9 game where they beat Diaz. They scored 5 runs in the 9th, right? in that moment, and they lost the next game 7-3, but in that moment, right? In that moment, Saturday, May 18th, after that 10-9 final, the Mets were 20-25, the Marlins were 15-32. And you look at these teams now, the Mets were 15-25, right? Is that what I said? 20-25. Sorry, they were 20-25, and now they're 64-59. So, yeah. Yep, 64-59 from 20-25. So 44-34. They're 10 games over 500 since that day. The Marlins at 15-32 are now 45-78. So they went 30 and what was their record? 30 and 32 to 78 is 46. 30-46. So they're 16 games under, and the Mets are a bunch of games over. So those divergent paths since that day when they beat Diaz, and that was a big win for Miami. You remember that game? It was 10-9. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to come back in that game. You know what I mean? And Chisholm and Bell with the homer. I mean, a 3-run homer from Josh Bell. And then Lopez wins it in the 10th, scoring Bethancourt. Bethancourt's gone. Bell's gone. Chisholm's gone. De La Cruz is gone. Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. And here they are day in and day out. You everydayers know this. They're just taking the field. And they're exciting. They're fun to watch. You pay attention to them. You watch the shows because they are exciting. They're fun to watch. And they do have a hell of a future, if you ask me, with all the injured pitchers coming back and the haul that they got back, the prospects, which we won't know for 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, the true impact of the haul that they got back from San Diego in the Tanner Scott trade, and all the different things that they've done and bringing back players and prospects in those deals. Watch what happens in the future, and we'll see how that plays out. But make no mistake about it, they got a lot of prospects back. And I think that when you see what these kids can do moving forward, are you really going to miss Jazz? Are you really going to miss DLC? Probably not. Are you really going to miss Trevor Rogers? No, right? No. You're not going to be. You are not going to be. Crazy, right? When you think about the Marlins. I do have a little bit of good news for the Marlins. And by the way, Beyozo's pitching tomorrow, 2-1, 2.28. We're going to get to that game in just a minute. But Sandy Alcantara threw his 7th bullpen as he recovers from Tommy John surgery. Last fall, he got that, the former Cy Young Award winner and Marlins ace. He hopes to throw batting practice soon. Now, he's out till next year. But again, all these things are very encouraging moving forward into the future for the Miami Marlins. They just are. They just are. Without a doubt. They really are. And it's a lot of fun to sit here every single day and look at what this team does and dissect looking ahead to the future. This year's gone. We know that. We've known that a long time. But hey, you guys are still here. Every day you're still here. And I love that about you every single day, making this a part of your day. And speaking of which, you want to make this a part of your day every day. We understand that, and the Dolphins and the Canes you will too. But make sure you check out Sully, Locked On MLB. He's got it covered every single day. You can find the link on Locked On MLB in the description. You don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And with everything going on right now, the playoff races, the pennant races, and all those things that are happening, you want to make sure you watch Sully every single day on Locked On MLB. And keep the faith, Marlins fans, because this team has a lot of prospects coming through, a lot of good young pitchers. Look at the way Cabrera's been throwing, Beyozo, who's going tomorrow, and then, of course, Max Meyer, who, if you could stop giving up the home run, man, I mean, that's the thing about Meyer right now, just giving up that home run. And he gave up 2 more tonight, 7 in his last 5 games. You're not going to win jack squat doing that, okay? You're not going to win jack squat doing it. I mean, it's just like literally, guys. I mean, I'm not giving you any kind of revelation here, right? It's very easy to decipher that. And that's something that I really enjoy doing here day in and day out for you on the show. And I hope you're enjoying it as much as I do every single day. 12:05 first pitch tomorrow. Valente Beyozo, 2-1 with a 2.28, pitching great for the Marlins right now. He will take on Paul Blackburn, 5-3 with a 4.43. And that game, it'll be the Mets -190, the Marlins +160. The total 8.5, overs -115, and the under is -105. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Your Locked On Marlins postcast on your Saturday in the park. The Dolphins playing right now. Locked On Dolphins postcast coming tonight right here. Same Dolphins and Marlins and Heat time. Same Dolphins, Marlins, and Heat channel. Just the channel, not the time. Anyway, here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, Locked On Dolphins postcast tonight. Of course, the Marlins tomorrow, 12:05 first pitch right after the game. We are here live with your Locked On Marlins postcast. And then the regular season right around the corner. Dolphins, Canes, and we are loving it. 4-0 Mets with the shutout. Luis Severino with the 4-hitter. And a big win against your Miami Marlins. They wrap up the series tomorrow. And again, Valente Bellozo pitching for the Fish. Until then, want to thank you profusely for being here. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries at @JimGries_ on social media, reminding you to always keep your game tight and your mind right, Fish fan. We're out.